Before we can remember those days gone by, Fordham women's basketball must defend the Rose Hill Gym one final time in 2025 against the LaSalle Explorers. The 8-4 Rams have played 2 games since December 6th and won both after dropping their A10 opener at George Mason. Alexis Black and company look to regain some ground in the conference and protect their 6-1 home mark this season. The Explorers also enter at 8-4, having gone 2-2 across 4 games in that same span since December 6th. 11 days ago, they wrapped non-conference play at home against Mississippi State in what became a lopsided loss. But with 8 returning players from last year, this LaSalle team is ready to make major improvements under 8th-year head coach Mountain McGillivray. It's an A10 women's basketball showdown on the eve of the new year. 2026 is on the horizon, but first, it's the Fordham Rams versus the LaSalle Explorers. It's Fordham women's basketball, and it's coming up next on WFUV Sports.
Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel here with Fordham women's basketball head coach Bridgette Mitchell ahead of the Fordham Rams New Year's Eve game against the LaSalle Explorers. And Coach, it's the conference play home opener for you guys today. The team responded really well after falling to George Mason on the road with a pair of wins. But is today sort of a full reset of sorts, heading full bore now into the A10 schedule?
Definitely. I think that it's really important for our team to be better than we were last time out. And so with us ending so well against St. Francis, with so many distractions of going into Christmas break, having the time off and all those different things, the challenge that we posed as a staff to our team is we just come off of a break, right? You haven't had a game in a while. And so how are you going to respond? And I think that I'm excited to see for our team to respond to that challenge. And I think that it is a new opportunity, right? That game in December is, really early. And so this time we have a reset, a great opportunity against a talented LaSalle team. So we're excited.
Coach, last game you forced 20 turnovers while only having 6, the best margin that Fordham women's basketball has had since 2023. How do you expect to keep that up in the A10 play?
Yeah, I think that it'll be challenging just because everyone plays different defenses and they have, different schemes as far as our personnel goes. But I think that it will be challenging, but I think that we are capable of doing it. 1, because we've shown it, but then 2, we are more comfortable playing with each other. And so getting our teammates the ball and opportunities will be there where they will be more successful, I think is something that our point guards have demonstrated that they're capable of.
And speaking of that defense, this LaSalle team is excellent at disrupting opposing teams' offenses. Eris McToon leads the A10 in steals per game so far. Ashley Connor is 3rd in the conference in that mark. So how important is ball security going to be today for the Rams?
Yeah, we do the same. We're aggressive. We get after it. It's going to be a battle of who's going to get the most steals. Hopefully at the end of it we win it. But I think that for our team, we really have to stick to our principles. Are we in position to help our teammates? If my teammate does gamble, which we're accustomed to doing, am I going to have her back? And I think that if we do those things on the defensive end, it'll lead to transition points, which won't give them an opportunity to steal it back from us, right? To do what they're strong at.
Coach, you said that the team got back on the 26th. Everyone got a chance to practice and everything. How has practice looked before this A10 play started?
Yeah, we were able to spend the first 2 days really just reminding us of who we are and our identity, some defensive concepts, some offensive things that we have to clean up and be aware of. And then the past 2 days, we focused on LaSalle, right? And so being able to have our low post defense. All of their players will post you up from the point guard to the center, right? And so having our guards practice their post defense and really emphasizing us defending without fouling. That's been our Achilles heel this whole season thus far. So we're really going to look to make sure that we don't bail them out with silly fouls.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Good luck today. The Fordham women's basketball Rams versus the LaSalle Explorers coming up next on WFUV Sports. Well, we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, inside of the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. I am Tucker Austin, joined by Kurt Sippel. And today we're proud to present you Fordham women's basketball as the Fordham Rams get ready to take on the LaSalle Explorers. Kurt, Fordham Rams are rolling into this game on a 2-game win streak. They beat St. Francis in their last game out about 10 days ago, so it's been a break for the Christmas holiday between that game and this one. But Kurt, I think it's safe to say the Fordham Rams are ready to get rolling now as we get into the fully fledged leg of conference play.
Fordham has had a lot of time off in between their games since the last game against St. Francis and now against Hofstra and now as well. They had a very long stretch of break, but this Fordham Rams team has been practicing. They have been ready to go. We've heard it from Coach B and the coaches sound that they've all been together for a lot of this time. The team has got back from Christmas break on the 26th. They were getting a lot of team bonding in, getting a lot of team exercise in, and now they're ready to go against this LaSalle team. And Tucker, it's New Year's Eve. New year, new Rams, exactly what Fordham wants and exactly what Fordham needs. This game is an opportunity, one win on the A10 streak, and that only starts your season up. Nothing else matters today except for A10 play.
Exactly right, Kurt. And nothing else matters today except for their matchup against LaSalle, I should say as well, because, interestingly enough, this is the third time in the calendar year 2025 that the Fordham Rams are matching up against the LaSalle Explorers. I had the pleasure of being on the call in Philadelphia this February, February 2025. They matched up again here at the Rose Hill Gym later on in that same month, but Fordham was able to get the better of LaSalle in both of those games last season.
Fordham last time against Coach Mountain's team. Fordham in the last game 72-51, and Fordham's going to probably play them very similarly because this is exactly what LaSalle's been doing. Coach Mountain has been at the helm of this LaSalle program for quite some time now. They steal the ball quite a lot. They're going to defend you quite a lot. So the Fordham game, and the key to this game for Fordham is really getting started in the paint. Paint scoring is going to be very, very important for this Fordham team because the LaSalle Explorers, they're going to be on the perimeter almost the entire game trying to run you off of it. And don't be surprised if they're doubling Alexis Black, one of the top nation scorers, as well as the A10's third scorer this year. So don't be surprised if they're going to double team Alexis Black, and other players will have to beat them.
Yeah, Kurt, and this LaSalle team really prides themselves on their ability to get into passing lanes, disrupt offenses. They have two of the top three players in steals per game in the Atlantic 10 this season between McToon and Ashley Connor. Eris McToon, of course, playing a much calmer game of basketball now compared to last year. She was one of the better players on this LaSalle team last year, but was plenty more uncoordinated. This year she has really become a lot quieter, a lot more methodical. For the Rams, it's Alexis Black, Emma Wilson-Saltos, Lucretia Edwards getting a start, Ornella Nyankin and Tia Morgan out there, the starting five, with some thought to bringing that energy off the bench. Players like Ugne Sertauteta that are really going to make a difference coming off the bench in this game. Meanwhile, for LaSalle, it's Eris McToon, Joanne Quinn, who was selected to the Atlantic 10 All-Rookie team at the end of last season, a sophomore now in a starting role for the Explorers. Alongside her is Ashley Connor, as well as Anna Pashizlak and Kiara Williams, the redshirt freshman, who LaSalle actually recruited out of high school. Kiara Williams then went to Penn State, but unfortunately tore her Achilles as a freshman at Penn State, and then missed all of last season. And then with little competition in the transfer portal and teams, in terms of teams looking for Williams, LaSalle wound up landing someone who they had already recruited earlier in their career, but just about ready for tip here.
Fordham getting ready. The last basketball game of 2025 is about to get underway.
And the tip won by Emma Wilson-Saltos to Alexis Black. She throws it down the court, but it's going to be tipped out of bounds by Pashizlak, and it will stay with the Rams.
Automatically, LaSalle's trying to get out in block shots, third in block shots this season in the A10 so far. So LaSalle, this is going to be their game today. It's going to be playing a lot of defense and not giving you very easy shots.
A quick inbound miss on the layup by Ornella Nyankin, rebounded by LaSalle. The other way come the Explorers. Top of the key, it's Kiara Williams. Williams gets it to the left side. Now it's back to Williams on the left elbow. Up to the right wing for Ashley Connor, guarded by Lucretia Edwards. Connor drives to the right block, puts up a floater. That's no good. Ball is slapped off the glass and then finally rebounded by Ornella Nyankin. Here come the Rams.
I'm liking the Fordham man defense that they had so far, not letting LaSalle get a very easy shot off in the paint.
9:20 to go in this first quarter as Wilson-Saltos has it underneath, but it's tipped out of bounds by Williams, and it's going to stay with the Rams here.
Something else Fordham's going to have to watch out about a lot is not only that LaSalle steals the ball a lot, but they can turn you over quite often, and Fordham has been quite susceptible on turnovers this season. 20-plus turnovers a lot of their games this season, so they're going to have to try and dumb that down a lot because against St. Francis they were successful with only 6.
Inbound play gets to Lucretia Edwards. Backhanded pass to Wilson Saltos, but it gets away from her, picked up by Joanne Quinn. Here comes LaSalle. Pashizlak has it. Now cross-court pass in the right corner for 3. That's good. Pashizlak knocks it down to open the scoring. LaSalle 3-0 over the Rams, 8:50 to go in the first quarter.
Ornella Niankin was trying to provide that help defense, but then left a wide open shooter in the corner. This is something that we saw Fordham struggle with against St. Francis.
Ball inside for Ornella Niankin, and she's fouled as she goes up for the layup. It's no good. Foul's going to come against Pashizlak, the first in the game against either side. Niankin going to head to the line as Ugne Sertau-Tata and Karen Easley get ready to check in. Tia Morgan and Emma Wilson-Saltos head to the bench.
The difference in this game, Tucker, is that against St. Francis last game was that the St. Francis team could not shoot the ball very well. This LaSalle team can shoot the ball much better than the St. Francis team can, so you won't want to leave them wide open on 3 like the Fordham Rams just did. Because if you do that, they're going to start knocking down shots and get out to a very fast start very quickly, and that's not something that Fordham really wants to do in this game. So far this season, while their numbers aren't that great from the three-point percentage, 26%, they can still knock them down. This is good A-10 competition no matter what.
Niankin makes both at the line, does the grad school student from Montreal. Now LaSalle trying to move things quickly the other way, and McToon can't make a decision on the left side. Now she does, goes up with the left hand softly, but can't get it to go. Rebound Sertau-Tata, and now pace for the Rams the other direction. Edwards gets it to Sertau-Tata inside. She sends it up to the right wing for Alexis Black, who sets the offense. Screen by Sertau-Tata, cross-court pass, trying to get it to Edwards, goes to Easley, who fires it behind her back, and then it loosely gets to Sertau-Tata, and the Rams reset again. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 8:04 on the game clock. Black moves in and puts it in with the right hand from the right elbow, a floater from way far away, and the Rams have their first lead of the afternoon. It's 4-3 Fordham. Into the right corner, it's Quinn. Now right corner again after some movement for Connor, and she gets it to go. Ashley Connor with the corner 3, and it's 6-4 LaSalle.
Fordham going to have to start their defense a little sooner. Make sure and try to chase LaSalle off the line. You can't have these available shots because they're starting to hit them. Shooter's going to shoot, Tucker.
Ashley Connor, second in the A-10 in assists, third in steals per game, but knocking down a 3 early in this one to give the Explorers a new lead. Top of the key for Ugne Sertau-Tata for the Rams. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Easley moves inside, guarded closely by Quinn, but she can't get it to go. Quinn comes up hobbling a little bit as she moves to the other end with the LaSalle attack. 7:05 to go in the first quarter. 6-4 is the lead for the LaSalle Explorers over the Fordham Rams. Connor gets it to Pashizlak. Pashizlak on the right block, tries to get the pass inside for Connor, but it goes out of bounds. It was last touched by Pashizlak, and it'll be Fordham's basketball.
Looks like Ashley Quinn is laboring off the court right when she was coming back. I was going to point out, Tucker, that she was kind of chugging back all the way to the corner there. That's a big loss for this LaSalle team. She's going back to the locker room right now.
Yeah, as we already mentioned earlier in the broadcast, A-10 all-rookie selection last season and making a big step up her sophomore year, but now she's going to take a seat. We'll keep an eye on her to see if she comes back in the game. It's a turnover on the other end for the Fordham Rams, and so LaSalle with a 2-point lead has the basketball, 6:30 to go in the first. Miljanich in the game for LaSalle. She gets it to Williams underneath. Now on the left wing, it's Eris McToon. McToon rises up at the free throw line and hits it over Alexis Black. That too is good. 8-4 the lead for the Explorers now, 6:10 to go in the first.
Listen, that's not a shot that you really like to give up, but it's a shot that you're okay with giving up because you had great defense on them. You didn't give them a lot of space. They were able to hit it.
And McToon, a volume shooter, went 4 of 18 in her last game. Cutting all the way inside is Ugne Sertau-Tata. for her first points of the afternoon, 8-6 LaSalle.
That was an incredible pass by Alexis Black under the legs of her defender, right to Ugne Soto-Teta. Great court vision, and then floated it right up into the hoop. Just a wonderful play to get the scoring started.
And wide open was Miljanich. The bank is open on Wednesday, on New Year's Eve, Kurt. As Miljanich gets it to go off the glass, 11-6 Explorers.
That's the type of three that you really cannot give up if you're Fordham. Yet again, not good court three-point defense, leaving wide open shooters.
Yeah, Ivona Miljanich, the best three-point shooter on this team, as coming the other way is LaSalle after a miss on the other end by the Rams, cutting inside and getting the two. LaSalle, all things going the way of the Explorers in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, 13-6, the lead for LaSalle. Lucretia Edwards goes inside, puts up a floater from the left block. That's no good. Rebounded Kiara Williams.
Fordham right now has not taken a shot from three. 2 of 6 from the field. 33% so far in today's game. Look at Karen Easley right now taking the full court press on number 15 for Ashley Connor.
Connor, one of the better ball handlers for this team, but Karen Clutch Easley, a solid defender for the Rams. An open three at the top of the key is no good from Eris McToon. Rebounded Alexis Black. Black gets it inside to Niankin, and she gets it to go. Big points for Ornella Niankin there, 13-8. And it should be mentioned, Kurt, Ugne Sertau-Teta seems to be sucking wind a little bit here with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
She does look to be laboring down low, holding her knee.
Keep an eye on that as it's at the top of the key for Kiara Williams. Now right wing for Ashley Connor. Connor finds Pashizlak down low. Now the left corner for McToon. McToon moves inside and puts up a floater. That's no good from the left block. Gets her own rebound and puts up the layup to give LaSalle a 15-8 lead.
Tucker, I don't know about you. Does the Fordham defense look a little unorganized so far in today's game? LaSalle hasn't been letting the defense get set for Fordham, and immediately they just look kind of all over the place. The communication kind of looks a little off.
Down low for Sertau-Teta, and the give and go to Ornella Niankin. Great play between Niankin and Sertau-Teta to get another big two. It's a 5-point game, 15-10. But here comes LaSalle with Eris McToon. Top of the key for Pashizlak. Ivona Miljanich for three. That's no good. Off the back iron, rebounded by Niankin.
Much better three-point defense from Fordham right there, not giving Miljanich a lot of space to shoot that shot.
3-10 as Alexis Black goes coast to coast. She misses the layup. Rebounded Sertau-Teta, and the Fordham Rams are going to take time out. Bridgette Mitchell wants to talk things over with her squad. With a 15-10 lead, the LaSalle Explorers seem to be in pretty good position so far in this first quarter, Kurt. I think they came out with a little bit more energy than the Rams did, and I can't quite tell if it's injuries or if it's just conditioning, but like you were saying about how the defense feels like it's a little disconnected, it really just looks like the Rams are kind of already tired out there. It's hard to say so because it's only been 7 minutes, but they already look gassed.
Listen, Tucker, we've seen a lot of fast-paced play in these games that we've seen Fordham play. Fordham likes to play fast. They like to have a lot of fast break points, but even we've seen against all of their opponents, even against Adelphi, St. Francis, opponents that might not be up to the 8-10 kind of level, but they run the basketball for the 40 minutes a game. And that's exactly what Fordham does too, but this LaSalle team, one of the most disruptive teams in the 8-10, maybe even in college basketball because of how much they steal. Fordham just looks like they haven't come out with the same kind of energy that we've seen in a lot of their games. Listen, they are still doing well. They're staying in this game. It's only a 5-point lead. And right now you can see what I talked about earlier, Fordham getting all of their opportunities from the field. They're not taking a lot of threes. They haven't even taken a three yet today. So Fordham's just going to have to keep that up and maybe try to spread the floor a little bit more to get some three-point shots up. 3 worth more than 2, Tucker.
15-10, the lead for the Explorers over the Rams on this, the final game of the calendar year 2025. It's New Year's Eve, and we'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball after a short break. You're listening to Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
And we welcome you back inside the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. It's New Year's Eve. The final few hours of 2025 are just on the other side of this game, but first we do need to get by some Fordham women's basketball. The Rams opening the full length of conference play. Of course, they've already played a conference game this season against George Mason on the road earlier this December. But now the non-conference play officially over. It's the home opener in A10 play for the Rams, but not exactly going to plan so far. And Kurt, you mentioned that the three-point shooting is really, it's sort of the difference so far early in this one. Fordham's given up a couple of really too good of looks from three-point land. Ashley Connor has knocked one down. Anna Pashizlak has knocked one down for LaSalle. Despite being just 4 for 21 on the season from beyond the arc, Pashizlak has one. And we are ready to go once again. Alexis Black immediately off the inbound knocks down a 2 and brings Fordham within 3. It's 15-12. Long cross-court pass is stolen by Alexis Black. Black finds into the corner. It's Tia Morgan. She steps in for a long 2, and that one's good. Off the rim and then the glass, and just like that, Kurt, it's a one-point game.
What a way to start a timeout right there. We said that they didn't have a lot of energy coming out, and Fordham with 2 quick baskets. That shows energy, Tucker, and that shows a lot of pace. I know Coach B is a lot happier to see that from their team.
Big wake-up call in that last timeout is now there's a left wing 3 from Joanne Quinn, who's back in the game now after she came up hobbling earlier in this first quarter. If you're LaSalle, you love to see her back in this game. 4-point game again in favor of the Explorers. On the right side, that was London Lilly from 2-point land. She couldn't get it to go. Loose rebound. Alexis Black, left wing 3 is good, and she gives a Jalen Brunson 3-point celly to the crowd. 18-17 LaSalle, just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I'm loving that 3-point celly from Alexis Black. I don't think we've seen that so far this season. That might be something new for A10 play.
LaSalle trying to answer on the other side. Pat Node inside, but it's stolen by Emma Wilson-Saltos. Is now back in the game for the Fordham Rams. London Lilly, top of the key for Black. Alexis Black on the left wing. Now she's guarded by Eris McToon. McToon guarding her closely above the 3-point line, and now Serto Teta has it. Right side for Lilly, looking for an option, finds Wilson-Saltos. Emma Wilson-Saltos, top of the key, and she loses the ball. Joanne Quinn picks it up. She has a free lane to the basket, gets Tia Morgan to jump and puts the easy layup through. And LaSalle is up 20-17 here with just over a minute to play in the first quarter.
Fordham on that play called chin. They were going to pass the ball and then try to find the best open look. But if you're going to stay with the ball and not be moving very often, LaSalle's going to take that opportunity and take it from you.
It's down low for Wilson-Saltos. Can't get the layup to go. Fight for the rebound, and Ivona Miljanic comes down with it. Transition for the Explorers. Quinn, top of the key. Miljanic now looking for the pass inside, but it's stolen by Tia Morgan. She gets it to Alexis Black. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3-point game. Alexis Black blocked at the free throw line by Quinn. Serto Teta gets the rebound. And they're going to call a jump ball possession arrow in favor of LaSalle. 34.8 on the clock in the first quarter. Explorers ball with a 3-point lead.
I don't know what kind of jump ball that was. It looked like Ugne got pushed to the ground for the ball. If you're going to say that they had another hand on the ball, I guess. But it looked like she got pushed to the ground. That should have been a foul call. But Tucker, so far Fordham with the steals, they're up to 3 in the game so far. LaSalle might be the number 1 team in the A10 for steals, but the number 2 team for the A10 in steals is Fordham University.
Fordham certainly taking that part of LaSalle's game and trying to flip it against the Explorers. Few players take a seat for the Rams. Back in the game now is Mason Hill, actually for the first time today. And alongside her, Ornella Niankin also checks back in. Inside for Kiara Williams. Williams gets to the right block. She's blocked by Wilson Santos, gets her own rebound and goes up strong with the right hand. 2 seconds on the clock, and that's the buzzer in the first quarter. 22-17, LaSalle with a strong opening frame, but Fordham did well to respond enough to stay in this game, because the way they opened that first quarter, Kurt, things could have been very, very different.
If Fordham did not come out and score like they did after that timeout, LaSalle could have been up so many more points in that going into the second quarter. But right now, Fordham able to play their game. They're able to settle down defensively just a little bit more, not allowing LaSalle to get a lot of easy shots, and that's what Fordham has to do. Chase them off the three-point line. Listen, you're willing to give up those paint shots if they're not going to take those easy threes. Give up harder to gain paint shots instead of those easy, wide-open threes.
Yeah, as a team, LaSalle shooting just 40% from the floor so far this season. Fordham only 39%, so between the two of them, not excellent shooting from the floor. But then you look at that first quarter from LaSalle, they shot 60% from the floor in that quarter. Small sample size, I know, but it should be mentioned that LaSalle having a much, an improved first quarter compared to how the rest of their games so far this season have gone. And interesting to see if Fordham can kind of put something together in that second quarter, maybe get themselves in front before halftime. We're going to step away for a moment, but second quarter on the other side of this break, 22-17, the lead for LaSalle over the Fordham Rams. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back inside of the Rose Hill Gym here on the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel with you on this New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2025, where the Fordham Rams trying to defend a 6-1 mark on home court so far this season against a team with an exact similar record to the Fordham Rams. The Rams are 8-4 coming in. The Explorers of LaSalle are also 8-4. Kurt, you got to give credit to head coach Mountain McGilvray for the LaSalle Explorers. It's his 8th season as head coach, and this season in 2025 so far, he has his team 2 wins away from their win total from last season. Really just incredible response to adversity from a head coach who's just been here for so long. And he's got so many returning players as well, upwards of 7, maybe 8 players returning to the team from last year. And there's a quick foul. Inbound for the Rams went to Karen Easley. The foul is going to be called against Sania Jenkins for LaSalle.
Just a quick thought on Coach Mountain, because he's seen this LaSalle team. He's led them to their best record since the 90s. He's been here for a lot of adversity. I mean, the bounce back from a 10-23 season is a tough one, don't get me wrong, but when you're a head coach of a program for so long, you really know and you're very familiar with how to run this program, how to run LaSalle. We heard Coach B talk about it, talk about what it's like to run a program for so long and how and how you know what's coming.
Top of the key ball screen for Alexis Black, but she can't hit the 3, rebounded by Ornella Niankin. Karen Easley moves to the right elbow and hits the 2, falls to the floor, but no foul.
And that makes it 22-19, three-point game. Rams trying to close in. 9:35 to go in this first half. Into the left corner for Jenkins. She goes up with the right hand, no good. Rebound Wilson Saltos. In transition, the Rams, Mason Hill gets to the left block, up with the right hand, soft, no good, but slapped out of bounds by Kiara Williams. No, last touched by a Fordham Ram, and so it's LaSalle's basketball.
But yeah, Tucker, just to finish my thought on Coach Mountain, when you've seen the highs of the highs that you can get to and the lows of the lows, you know how to build up from there, and that's what he's done.
Left wing try for three, but from Lauren Patnode is no good. Rebound by Fordham. A minute gone in this second quarter. Inside goes Karen Easley, cutting in from the right wing down to the right block and gets the layup to go. 1 point game, 22-21 Explorers. Ashley Connor, right wing, guarded by Mason Hill. One of the talented freshmen on this Fordham roster out of South Kingston, Rhode Island. Down to the left block for Pashizlak. She's looking for an option. Cross court for Jenkins. Right corner three. Rattles around but doesn't go. Wilson Saltos fighting for the rebound against two LaSalle offensive players, but it is last touched by Wilson Saltos as it goes out of bounds. And it'll be an inbound underneath for the Explorers.
Karen Easley just has had such an impressive freshman season. The freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, last game against St. Francis set her career high in assists with 9. Now she's scoring and going to the basket. She's 5'5" and competing with people that are over 6 feet tall and going to the basket and scoring over them.
Pashizlak after the inbound tries the layup from the right side. That's no good. Rebound Fordham. 8:20 to go in the second quarter. Karen Easley goes coast to coast and is blocked. Gets her own rebound but can't find a teammate, and it's stolen by Pashizlak. Connor drives coast to coast and she takes the contact. Tries to lay it off the glass, but there might be an offensive foul here. Ashley Connor.
I think that was a charge. Was it?
Went all the way to the basket, although it looks like they're going to call
blocking foul.
Yeah, a block, I think, against Karen Easley.
It was against Karen Easley. Karen Easley was trying to set her feet into the paint, and then Ashley Connor turned on the jets, and I don't think Karen Easley was ready for it at the time.
That's another thing that Karen Easley does so well, is like you mentioned that she is a smaller player on the floor, usually standing at 5'5", but she's fearless. She doesn't care how tall or how big her opponents are. She's going to go all the way to the basket, or she's going to try to draw a charge like that as Connor misses the second free throw, but now is positioned for a three after the rebound, but can't get it to go. It's rebounded, though, by Williams. Another chance for LaSalle. Driving all the way to the basket goes Eris McToon. That was a pretty move through the lane. And a soft touch with the right hand, 25-21 LaSalle. Mason Hill, right block. Goes up with the right hand, but it's all the way over the rim. Stolen in transition by Tia Morgan, and it's a fresh possession for the Rams. All the way inside goes Wilson Saltos, but flips it up off the glass, and that's no good. And there's a travel on the other end forced by the Rams against LaSalle. Insane back and forth on that last possession, Kurt. Somehow no points were scored during that exchange. And it's still 25-21, now 7:43 to go in the second quarter.
I'm not really sure. I saw where that play was. I didn't see the travel. I was looking at the ball on the other side of the court, and then Emma Wilson-Saltos also. And now there's a foul?
Yeah, immediate foul after the inbound as Lucretia Edwards. She hits the floor. Ashley Connor picks up the foul.
Their second foul, her second foul of the game.
Yeah, Connor going to have to be a little more careful as this game goes on. Inbound for the Rams. Down low for Ugne Sertau Teta, but the pass from Kayla Berry is not on target. LaSalle gets it, and now Connor with it, top of the key, guarded by Easley. She gets it to Kiara Williams. Williams going to pull up for the long two. That's no good. Off rim, then backboard, then rim again. Tia Morgan across half court for the Rams. Morgan, and it's stolen away by McToon. Eris McToon all the way to the rim against Tia Morgan. Gets it to go after the steal. 27-21 LaSalle.
McToon switching hands in air. She looked like she was up there for about 5 seconds in the air, switching hands and laying it off the glass, getting around her defender. That was such a talented shot from McToon.
Kayla Berry, left wing. That's a 2. Looked like she was near a 3, but foot on the line, and it's 27-23 LaSalle.
Kayla Berry, 43% field goal shooter. That's what you want. If
Inside for Williams, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Tia Morgan taking the contact underneath, chest bumping her teammates under the basket now as Kiara Williams going to pick up the offensive foul under the basket.
I really like that celebration. The chest bump under the basket provides a lot more energy underneath, like getting a lot more physical. That's what you need if you're Fordham right now, because you need that spark right now so you can get out and running.
And LaSalle's been firing on all cylinders to start this game, but Fordham's got to try and find a way to disrupt their flow. All the way into the paint goes Alexis Black up with the left hand. That's no good. Fight for the rebound picked up by McToon. It's McToon with just Lucretia Edwards to beat, and she does with English off the glass with the right hand. McToon having a great first half. It's 29-23 LaSalle.
McToon already in double figures, showing why she's one of the most talented players on LaSalle's team and the leading scorer.
Tia Morgan tries to go underneath the basket and almost get that reverse with the left hand, but couldn't get it over the rim. It winds up out of bounds, but it's going to stay with the Rams here. 6:04 to go in the second quarter.
McToon likes to take a lot of shots, but today being pretty efficient. 5 of 8, 10 points, only took 1 3, did not hit it. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. She's already packing the stats.
Yeah, she's usually an extreme volume shooter, and I mean extreme, but today, excellent shot selection so far from the junior out of Baltimore, Maryland. On the other end, it's Ugne Sertau-Tata for the Rams laying it in. 29-25, as it's still just a 4-point game. Fordham keeping things within range, but just can't quite get by the Explorers so far. Pass down low for Miljanich. Loose ball on the opposite end of the floor, picked up by McToon. She gets it to the right block for Amaya Moses, who gets it to go with that right hand, the freshman forward from Toronto, Ontario. But now Fordham quick to transition. Sertau-Tata, left block, now moves inside but can't get the layup to go. Offensive rebound, Kayla Berry, and it's tipped out of bounds by Amaya Moses. It's going to stay with the Rams.
Good fight by Kayla Berry, but also that was Fordham's last field goal shot, the last one that they just made, in their last 7 attempts. That's just not something that Fordham needs, especially if you're trying to play a winning basketball game. You got to shoot at a lot more volume, and you got to hit a lot more shots, especially against this LaSalle team. It looks like so far they might be challenging the call, Tucker, down on the floor.
It seems the referees are going to take another look at this one. As they do, we're going to step aside for just a moment, but at 31-25, LaSalle's lead over the Fordham Rams, 5:19 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back inside the historic Rose Hill Gym. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel joining you on this New Year's Eve for a Wednesday afternoon matchup between the Fordham Rams and the LaSalle Explorers, opening the now unbroken stretch of the A10 conference play. But Kurt, we got to talk about the pace in this game because it has been blistering to start so far. Excellent scoring on both ends of the floor, but these teams really, they've been gassing each other, and we don't even have 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. It's just 5 and change to go in this first half.
I was going to say, for the audience at home that has not been hearing very much of me, because there's not a lot of opportunities to get in. I mean, it's very hard, but we've had this some time, but I think this is the fastest pace of play we've watched probably all season. We saw the Adelphi game. We saw against George Mason there was a lot of pace of play. But this LaSalle team and this Fordham team is like immovable force meets immovable... Sorry, I was trying to find my words there. But it's like both of these teams are running at each other at their maximum pace, and neither are going to slow down. And whoever slows down is probably going to lose this game, because that's exactly what's going on.
It's almost it's a battle of who blinks first, Kurt.
It feels like
who runs out of energy first.
I was watching the basketball, Tucker, and I missed a travel on the other side of the floor, but I watched the basketball cross the half-court line, and the refs just called travel after that. So I don't even know what I was looking at.
The game might be moving even faster than the referees can handle, but
the refs today need their cardio.
You're going to try and stay glued to the seat here, but man, it has been a fast-paced game. Tough to follow, but
that's the most fun kind of basketball, though, when it's fast-paced, a lot of scoring, already 31 points for LaSalle, 25 for Fordham. You can see a high-volume game today, especially with the amount of shots that have been going up for LaSalle and for Fordham. 27 shots for Fordham already, 25 for LaSalle.
Into the right corner, it's going to be Miljanic. Her three is good. Ivona Miljanic, the senior from Belgrade, Serbia, hits her second three of the afternoon and makes it 34-25 LaSalle, the largest lead of the game for the Explorers. Right corner, or right wing now rather, for Anela Niankin. Her three is no good, rebounded underneath by LaSalle, and it's controlled by Joan Quinn. Quinn moving very quickly, now tries to get it inside for Moses, and she does find some space after losing Ugne Sertau-Teita, gets the two, and now it's an 11-point lead for LaSalle.
For Miljanic on that last three-point shot, she was able to sidestep her defender and then shoot that shot with a lot of space that you don't want to give up. That's exactly what Fordham struggled with.
After a loose ball, Tia Morgan going to step back in the left corner for a long two. That's no good, rebounded by LaSalle. Alexis Black giving some pressure to Joan Quinn. Now into the right corner. McToon dribbles inside and then puts up a short two-pointer. That's no good from the right post, but then contact on the rebound after the play, and Ugne Sertau-Teita looks to be a little shaken up.
This has been quite the physical game, Tucker. A lot of people, a lot of bodies on the floor. Ugne just getting bumped to the side when she was trying to steal the ball. Right now, it seems like maybe the wind got knocked out of her. Or
maybe, although she does look to be coming up a little short on
she looks
maybe that left leg. I think you mentioned she was holding on to that knee earlier. She does check out, and she's going to head to the trainer's table behind the bench for the Rams. It's Niankin, Easley, Edwards, Wilson Saltos, and Alexis Black for the Fordham Rams. As it stands right now, it's McToon, Connor, Pashizlak, Patnode, and Moses on the floor for LaSalle. Pass inside for Wilson Saltos. That's a big two. Rams desperately needed that one. Back within double digits, it's 36-27.
That broke LaSalle's 9-2 run that they've been going on in this game. Fordham needed that bucket, break the drought just a little bit, see one go through. That's very important.
McToon, left side for LaSalle. Top of the key for Moses. Amaya Moses going to drive into the lane. Too strong with the left hand. Rebound Karen Easley. Quick transition for Fordham. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. Lucretia Edwards' three is no good off the back iron and rebounded by McToon.
Lucretia Edwards, a 14% three-point shooter. That might not have been the greatest shot for Fordham. Maybe try to look for something that was a little bit better. Right now, Karen Easley playing some great defense.
Excellent defense by Karen Easley against Ashley Connor, as she does so well between the three-point line and half court. Top of the key, three from Patnode is no good. Rebound Ornella Niankin. 2:44 to go in this first half. Fordham trailing by 9. Left corner three, Lucretia Edwards. That's good. Nothing but net for Lucretia Edwards, and it's 36-30, 2:30 to go in the second.
Karen Easley penetrated the paint, then got the defense to collapse on her, and then a wide open shot for Lucretia Edwards that she knocks down.
Ashley Connor trapped in the right corner by Edwards. Now right wing for McToon. McToon fires it down low, but it's intercepted by Wilson Saltos. And down court for Ornella Yankin, who had a look, and she's almost blocked by Eris McToon, but she picks up a foul. Too much contact there. Fordham also into the bonus now. But Ornella Yankin going to head to the free throw line here for the second time today.
Fordham on a 5-0 run in those last minutes. And Tucker, that 5 points felt like 2 seconds. I think, like you were saying before, you blink and you miss it. I think I blinked and I missed it because that was such a fast-paced 5 points for Fordham. And now with the bonus for Ornella Yankin, a 73% free throw shooter.
She's already hit 2 today, though, and she hits a third of 3.
She remains at 100 so far. Let's knock on wood that that announcer's curse doesn't come true.
Yankin started 8 of her 12 games that she's appeared in this season so far. She hits the second of 2. She's 4 for 4 today from the charity stripe. She's averaging 7.6 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, and 1.2 assists. Pretty solid numbers for a grad transfer. Trying to find her role still early in the season on this Fordham team. LaSalle now trying to come the other way. Just 2 minutes to go in this first half. Kiara Williams loses the basketball. Connor loses it now, and it's picked up by Easley. Wilson Saltos. Now Easley again as LaSalle is forced to retreat back. Easley. A no-look pass to Kayla Berry in the paint. Karen Easley, how do you do? 36-34 LaSalle.
Karen Easley just all over the court. She was playing defense on Joan Quinn and then got over, and now there's a steal by Alexis Black.
Steal on the other end. Joan Quinn's pass intercepted. Black tries to find Edwards, and it's going to be last touched by Edwards, although it looked as though it was tipped out of bounds by a LaSalle defender. The Fordham bench certainly looks like they expected a different call. However, it will be LaSalle's basketball. 1:29 to go in the second quarter. 36-34. Fordham within 2 of LaSalle. And they have not led since 7:59 to go in the first quarter. Joanne Quinn top of the key. Now Eris McToon. McToon inside for Quinn. Quinn looking for an option. Finds Connor. Right wing 3. That's good. Ashley Connor gets it to go and gives LaSalle a little more breathing room. 39-34, under a minute to go in the second quarter.
LaSalle 50% from 3 or this quarter. Something has to change if you're Fordham. You got to guard that three-point shot a little bit more. Give up those paint shots, especially because you want to just play better defense.
And Alexis Black draws a good shooting foul on the right elbow. Good sportsmanship there. Eris McToon helps pick up her number counterpart, number 0, Alexis Black. Black going to go to the free throw line here.
One of the leaders in the nation in free throws attempted this season for Alexis Black. I don't think there's a category we could talk about in the A-10 that Alexis Black might not be top 5 in.
I know, Kurt. She leads the Fordham Rams in pretty much everything. She's top 5 in pretty much everything in the Atlantic 10. And as you mentioned, 3rd in Division I in free throws made this season with 78 at the line for a chance at 2 more.
It's a pretty interesting stat to get set of being one of the nation leaders in free throws. A lot of teams, but Alexis Black able to get contact a lot of the time, and that's how she plays basketball.
That was free throw 79. And that's number 80.
Make it an even 80.
On the year for Alexis Black. 2 of 2 at the line. 3-point game. 42 seconds to go in the first half. Easley, good defense at the top of the key against Connor. Now a double team between Hill and Easley. And it's stolen by Mason Hill. Excellent defense by the Rams in disrupting LaSalle. 30 seconds to go. Alexis Black with the basketball. 3 seconds, maybe 2 seconds between the shot clock and game clock here.
Looks like Alexis Black might hold it till the shot clock is over and then get to work.
Couple of Rams moving off the ball, but Alexis Black just has this one near the half-court line. 7 seconds on the shot clock now. She's guarded by Connor. Help from Williams. Right wing 3 is good off the glass. Alexis Black ties the game at 39. That's the buzzer. The long heave is no good, and the Rams work all the way back in the second quarter, and they've retied this game at 39 going to the break.
That was cold by Alexis Black. Ice in her veins. 12 points on the night already. 2 of 2 from the three-point line, 4 of 8 from the field. Alexis Black already having herself a night, and that's the kind of points that you need if you're Fordham going into the locker room with momentum. Great stuff by the Fordham Rams.
Woo! Excellent end to the first half for the Fordham Rams after they spent pretty much a majority of the game trailing. They had a lead within the first 2 minutes of the game and have been behind ever since, but now finally pulling even with LaSalle, trying to sort of match LaSalle's three-point shooting. 6 for 12, as you already mentioned, is blisteringly hot from beyond the arc for a team that has not shot well from 3 or from the floor so far this season.
They're one of the worst teams in the A-10 from scoring perspective. They are 12th in the A-10 from the scoring perspective.
Yeah, but Miljanich and Connor both showed up to play today.
As well as McToon, who has 10 points on the night already.
Yeah, Connor 7 points on 2 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 of 3 from 3 for Miljanich, 5 of 9 from the floor with those 10 points for Eris McToon. Meanwhile, for the Rams, Alexis Black doing her thing as usual, 12 points to lead the entire game. 4 of 8 from the floor, and as you mentioned, 2 of 2 from 3, 2 of 2 at the line. Ornella Yankin with 4 very big points at the free throw line in that first half. Fordham with 6 points at the stripe as a team in the first half to just 1 point from the free throw line for LaSalle. So Fordham cashing in when they need to, when LaSalle has given them the opportunity. The rebounding pretty even. Assist numbers slightly in favor of the Fordham Rams, which is not something you would have expected in this game.
Something you like to see from the Fordham Rams, though, Tucker. 1 foul committed. 1 foul in this first half of play. That is something that you normally do not see from this Fordham team, who fouls a lot. That's something that you hear Coach B talk about a lot, is that they want to minimize the amount of fouls. Last game they talked about minimizing the amount of turnovers, already up to 9. If you can keep it at, I would say, 15 turnovers in this game, Fordham will be in a very good place in the next half of play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kurt. 9 turnovers does not seem nearly as bad when you look at the fact that LaSalle has 11.
That's something
and
that's
if you can force those turnovers more so than you commit them, things will start to go your way. And I think that's what we saw at the end of that second half, but also it comes down to that execution. Alexis Black, when they need it, in the clutch, at the end of the first half, knocking down the 3 to finally close the gap fully. And if you're LaSalle, you got to be reeling after the end of that second quarter, because you had big control of this game, 11-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the half, and Fordham closed it all up.
Fordham scores in bunches. That Fordham just scored a 5-0 run to end the game at the end of that. That's what Fordham does. They score in a bunch. They score in a bunch. They score in a flash. They're fast break points already in today's game. They have 9. Fordham's going to want a lot more of those. Coach B is going to say, do the exact same thing that you've been doing this entire game. They got to light a fire underneath of them. They had that in that first half at the end. You need that for the rest of the third and fourth quarter.
Well, we'll see what Fordham has in store for the LaSalle Explorers in that second half, but we will step aside for the halftime break. 39-all at the end of 20 minutes of play between the Fordham Rams and the LaSalle Explorers on this, the final game and the final day of 2025. Now we're going to send you to a clip from an exclusive interview with Robert Kissel talking about the world of sports prediction modeling with Dominic Sansone and Thomas Tisdale. You can catch a portion of that right now. We'll be back in about 9 minutes or so with the start of the second half.
Welcome back to One on One. I'm Thomas Tisdale, joined alongside by Dominic Sansone, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have Dr. Robert Kissel, who's a finance professor at the Gabelli School of Business here at Fordham. And before he came to Fordham, he had a very successful Wall Street career at JP Morgan and UBS. But the reason we have him on today isn't necessarily for his finance expertise, but it's because he runs a sports prediction and ranking model as well as an app called Algo Sports 23. And I'll let him explain it a little bit more in detail, but in essence, it's a very complicated computer model which predicts college football and NFL, but I also hear you're looking to expand to other sports as well. And before we get into some of the more technical questions, could you just briefly explain to us, Dr. Kissel, what got you into running the sports prediction model, and then generally your background.
Terrific. Well, Thomas and Dominic, first, thanks for having me on the show. It's wonderful. This is exciting. It's always exciting to participate with, Fordham in any capacity. Start with a little bit of my background. My background was undergrad applied math and statistics. I'm a Fordham alum as well. I got my PhD in economics at Fordham, and I moved into Wall Street. So my roles in Wall Street was developing the algorithmic trading models, the models we hear now, that's high frequency trading, electronic trading. So my team's work, we developed the theory, the quantitative models behind those trading algorithms. I've always had a big interest in sports, soccer, football, basketball, all of the sports. And as I'll say as an academic quant, a practicing quant, I always wondered, how is it that this group of people are coming up with predictions? If it's Vegas, if it's a selection committee, how are they coming up with the predictions? How are they coming up with the probabilities? And then after we started thinking, I said, this is the exact same quantitative models that we're already using for quantitative finance, for predictions, probabilities, forecasting. So we started applying these models to sports data sets. We found they were extremely successful. So this is probably, not something over the last few weeks, few months, few years. This is probably going back 15, 20 years in the making. So Algo Sports 23 is an aggregation now of over 250 quantitative sports prediction models, ranking models, probability models, counting, linear, nonlinear, optimization. More recently, we've introduced different types of machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, artificial intelligence. And our final prediction is based on an AI methodology, some AI logic that determines which models are most appropriate for predicting the winning teams and the winning scores in which sports. So we're not even sitting down saying, hey, these models work best for college football. These are best for the NBA. We have an AI overlay that's determining the best models for the best sports. So that's a little overview of the model.
Thank you for that. You mentioned that this model is pretty much the exact same process, obviously with a few tweaks that you used in Wall Street. And I think a lot of times for more casual fans, or maybe not so statistic driven sports fans, it's difficult to see the connection between finance and the sports world. And I was just wondering if you could explain, and you can be as technical or as general as you'd like, what that process looks like, and then also how is that different from the way that other models are built with their inherent flaws.
Okay, certainly. So I'll give two approaches that's used in finance. So one, we may be looking at the probability of a company defaulting on their bond payments, on their interest payments. So that's a probability model. So I just wanted to understand from 0 to 100%, what's the likelihood that a company is not going to pay back its bond when it matures, or make a coupon payment. And there's certain data that we incorporate into that analysis, and the outcome is that probability from 0 to 100. This has an exact relationship when two teams are playing each other. What's the probability that one team is going to beat the other? So even without getting into the complex math, and I do want to say that the math is maybe a little complex, not as complex as what people say. I think at quants, we like to impress people. We try to make what we're doing seem super sophisticated, advanced. Why? As I tell my students, we want to come across as knowing everything. But number two, from a business world, job security. If we say, oh, this is really hard, nobody wants our jobs. So we feel good about that. Only half kidding there. So we could use the same models, the same approach. Now it's a different data set to determine the probability of a team winning. Another type of model is a prediction model where I'm predicting the outcome. It could be stock returns. It can be the number of shares I'm going to trade over a certain period of time. And this has a relationship with predicting the final score, predicting that margin. How much is a home team going to beat the away team by? If it's greater than 0, home team wins. Less than 0, the home team's going to lose. And within that prediction, there's also a standard error. And that standard error allows us to also compute the probabilities. And these models could be as simple as a linear regression model. It could be something getting a little more complex, linear regression, or moving into something that's completely data-driven, like MI, artificial intelligence. Just here's the data, figure out the relationship, and give us the outcome. So some of the models are really, straightforward, simple on the surface, but what we're doing is calculating, estimating the probability of one team winning and what that score is likely to be. And we've been extremely successful with the models over the years.
Perfect. Dr. Kissel, I got a couple questions for you. First, I'll start with one on the rankings. Obviously, the Associated Press and Coaches Poll released their weekly rankings of the top 25 teams at the FBS level. However, the Algo Sports 23 model has a little bit of a different ranking system from the looks of it. Some notable differences. You got Notre Dame at number 5, Georgia put below them at 7, Ole Miss and A&M 11 and 12 respectively. Obviously, much different than the AP and the college football playoff and the way things stand there. So in terms of specific metrics that the algorithm, I know you said it's a little bit of a combination of a lot of different sources, but what exactly does it value to get to those rankings? Is it strength of schedule? Is there certain metrics that it hones in on, or is it just more so a conglomerate of a bunch of different models and predictions?
Dominic, it's a terrific question. I'm glad you asked that. So the model is based on different aspects. We'll call different prediction metrics. One is we'll talk about is accounting models. Just how many teams, how many games did we correctly pick the winner? Another game is looking at the probability. So if we look at models that say for all the games that the model assesses the home team has a 70% likelihood of winning, of all those games we predicted, did we get 70% correcting that? If we did, the model is terrific. We also incorporate the score, the final score. What should the team win by? So if we say they win by 7, they win by 9, okay, off by 2.
And we welcome you back inside the Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel with you. If you want to catch the rest of that interview with Robert Kissel, done by Dom Sansone and Thomas Tisdale, they did a nice job. The rest of it you can catch on WFUV Sports YouTube page. But we welcome you back ahead of the second half of play between the Fordham Rams women's basketball team and the LaSalle Explorers. The second A10 game of the year for both of these teams. The A10 home opener for the Fordham Rams on the last day of 2025. But Kurt, really quickly, we have a chance to take a look at some of the scores going on around the A10 because, of course, the rest of A10 women's basketball is active this Wednesday.
Right now we got Dayton and George Mason. Dayton behind George Mason 59-71. GW versus St. Bonaventure, that's a close one at halftime right now, Tucker, 28-26. LaSalle and Fordham, of course, just checking on that score really quickly, 39-39. Just had to get that one in. St. Louis and Duquesne, 25-25 at halftime. We have three ties going into halftime. That's pretty good stuff for A10 women's
Very
basketball.
low scoring as well,
yes,
between Duquesne and St. Louis. St. Louis, of course, dominated the weekly awards this most recent week in the Atlantic 10 between the player, just the player of the week in general and the rookie of the week. Both of them were from the Billikens. St. Louis shaping up to be an excellent squad in the 25-26 season. But like you mentioned, a lot of parity throughout the rest of the league, and this is something that Coach Bridgette Mitchell is fully aware of and truly understands that the A10 is a little more open than it has been in the past. we asked the media, at least, had a chance to ask Coach B before this game started what she thought the ceiling was for this Fordham team this year, and she was very blunt. She said Fordham can win it all. And I love that kind of confidence in a head coach. She really believes in the group that she has built. It's her third season at the helm of this program. So just year after year getting to more and more implement her system and her way of coaching. And this group of players, very few have retained from last season, but there's a lot of buy-in from all of these players, regardless of how long that they've been a Fordham Ram. And when you have a coach with as much conviction as Coach B has, it's really hard not to believe her when she says that she thinks the Fordham Rams can go and win an A-10 title.
Well, it starts with belief at the end of the day, Tucker. If you believe you can win, there's already one domino knocked down, because then after that you just have to play for the win. But if you believe that you can win and the confidence is there, you should be able to do that. As LaSalle knocks off the first basket of the game off the rim.
Yeah,
no good.
Ashley Connor with the miss off the front of the rim, and we're underway here in the second half. And there's a travel by Alexis Black, who got the layup to go.
I saw a push more than a travel, Tucker.
Yeah, it looked like she had drawn a little bit of contact, but the call on the floor is a travel. We remain tied at 39, just 20 seconds into this second half. Ashley Connor guarded closely by Karen Easley. Easley, an excellent defender above the three-point line, as Connor moves around a screen and then loses the basketball. She was blocked by Karen Easley trying to go up for the layup, but it's out of bounds off of Fordham. LaSalle's ball underneath.
Ashley Connor, 5'11". Karen Easley, 5'5". Ashley Connor has over 6 inches on Karen Easley, and Karen Easley is giving her such a big problem on defense this entire game.
And a great set by LaSalle, but Connor can't get the initial layup to go. She does get her own rebound and then finishes with the right hand. But a really nice inbound play, a lot of off-ball movement by LaSalle to get Connor open in the first place, 41-39.
That's how LaSalle gets the Fordham defense moving, was moving without the ball.
And a shot there from Ornella Niankin from the left elbow, no good. Rebound to Joanne Quinn. Quinn spins back and gives it to Connor. Connor steps inside the three-point line, picks up the dribble, now sets a screen for McToon. McToon finds Kiara Williams. Williams back up top for Eris McToon, guarded by Alexis Black. Quinn now for Williams. Williams pulls from the right elbow and hits the long two. Kiara Williams, the 6-foot redshirt freshman from Palm Bay, Florida, puts LaSalle up 43-39.
Williams was just waiting for Fordham to fall asleep on her, and they did. Not guarding her as well as they should have been with the ball in her hand. She turned and shot the ball and made it. It's not something that Fordham wants to give away.
Alexis Black trying to get to the right block, and she draws a foul against Kiara Williams. Alexis Black going to go to the free throw line. Her second trip of the afternoon.
Her chance to make it 82 free throw shots in the year so far for Alexis Black.
Yeah, among the leaders in the nation in free throws made so far this season. Also one of the higher scoring individual performances in the nation this year. A 44-point outburst against Seton Hall.
Double overtime.
Of all schools in a double overtime game that also shattered the program record for the Fordham Rams.
But also, Tucker, if we want to talk about Alexis Black's top fives in the league, points, assists, steals, three-pointers made, three-point percentage, free throws made.
And there's a steal after both free throws were good from Alexis Black. Lucretia Edwards misses the free throw line jumper, and it's rebounded by LaSalle.
But it shows you how integral Alexis Black has been to this Fordham Rams team as only a junior so far.
And Karen Easley's going to pick up a transition foul here, trying to keep up with Ashley Connor, but Connor did a good job to speed her up, slow her down, and speed her up again to draw that contact on the floor.
Ashley Connor has been great turning on the jets today, Tucker. We saw that a lot where she speeds up and the defender's really just not ready for it.
Inbound to Connor, guarded by Wilson Salto. She fires it cross court for McToon, who has to put up a wild shot from the left side, no good. Kiara Williams rebound. Her layup is no good, but she gets her own board after the loose ball. It's still loose. Wilson Salto's with her hands on it. Jump ball possession to the Fordham Rams.
That all started with Ornella Niankin getting a hand on the ball under the basket and then not letting up on her defender there. Ornella Niankin kept her hand straight up the whole time, and when needed, she put her hand on the ball to block it down so a shot couldn't get off. And that's where Fordham gets the extra possessions and now can go up and tie this game once again.
Yeah, Fordham's had a lot of extra opportunities in this game. They just haven't been able to cash in on all of them. Easley gets it down low for Ugne Sertao-Tata, who's now checked back in the game. Now back up top for Easley. Her three, no good. Fight for the rebound, and it's tipped out of bounds. Believe it was last touched by the Fordham Rams, and indeed it was. It's going to be LaSalle basketball at the baseline.
Fordham right now getting out-rebounded by LaSalle. That's not something that you normally see from the nation leader in rebounds, Fordham, but something that has to change for these Fordham Rams, getting more rebounds.
Ashley Connor works her way to the left wing and puts up a two that's no good. Rebound by Lucretia Edwards. Fordham trying to work things in transition. 7:15 to go in the third quarter. Ornella Niankin gets a good look from the right baseline for two. That's no good. Rebound Alexis Black, and they're going to call what looked like a foul on the floor.
It is on the floor, but she was in the shooting motion there.
The argument from the Fordham sideline certainly is that that was a shooting motion.
I think that's a ridiculous call if they're not going to call it in the shooting motion.
They're going to call the foul at least against Joanne Quinn, and Alexis Black getting ready to inbound this from under the basket.
The 9th foul committed by the LaSalle Explorers.
After the inbound, Ornella Niankin works into the paint, can't get the shot up as it's blocked, but the loose ball picked up by Karen Easley. Jump ball possession to the Explorers. 7:03 to go in the third quarter, 43-41, the lead for LaSalle, and they'll retain the basketball. But as you were mentioning earlier, Kurt, the Fordham Rams ranked 9th in Division I in offensive rebounding, pulling down about 17.2 boards on the offensive glass per game. But currently, as it stands right now, LaSalle and Fordham with the same number of offensive rebounds at 8. LaSalle with an advantage in the rebounding, 23-21. Inside for Kiara Williams at the right elbow. She's going to pull from that spot again, but can't get it to go this time. Last touched by Ashley Connor. And it's going to be Fordham's basketball underneath. Battling Connor was Karen Easley.
Fordham needs to score the basketball in this possession. They've been scoreless for the last 2 minutes almost. Have not had a lot of points in this second half so far. Fordham needs to get some easy scoring plays to get going and get the ball to their best scorer, which Alexis Black now has at the top of the key.
Alexis Black gets her defender to jump, but then fires a three too long from the left wing, and it's rebounded by LaSalle. Karen Easley picks up another foul on the floor. In transition again.
They called that a push off. Easley pushed her defender, but to me, Tucker, yet again, it looked like Karen Easley was tripped in transition by her defender there.
It's going to be the third personal of the game against Karen Easley.
That's quite the big loss for Fordham, getting Karen Easley off the floor right now. Her points might not be standing out right now with only 4 in the game, but she's just been doing everything. The hockey assist that she's had, passing the ball a little extra, rebounding the ball again. She's been great.
Inbound to McToon. She's fouled and won. Kayla Berry picks up the foul. McToon goes clean to the basket. Gets 2 and will have a chance for a 3-point play to try and put LaSalle up by 5.
That's that kind of momentum booster that you don't want if you're Fordham. You allowed McToon to get to the basket and get that foul up. The bench gets a lot more hype because it's the and one play. You can see Coach Mountain a little more, has a smile on his face talking to his players right now. Just something that you can't have if you're Fordham. Can't allow these extra momentum boosters.
McToon hits the free throw for the 3-point play conversion. It's 46-41. LaSalle, courtesy of the 5'11 junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Top of the key, Tia Morgan finds Kayla Berry's nearly stolen by McToon, but now back to Morgan. Morgan finds Alexis Black, top of the key, guarded by Lauren Patnode. Screen up high by Sertao-Tata, now she drops away. Gets the pass from Black, and she's blocked as she goes up for it. And it's rebounded by LaSalle. McToon steps inside the 3-point line, puts up a long 2. That's no good. Rebound Tia Morgan. Morgan, long pass down the floor, and it's intercepted with one hand by Eris McToon. Fordham gets caught out in transition. McToon tries to get it to Patnode, but it gets away from her, and it's picked up by Alexis Black. Another transition for the Rams. It's poked away. And it's going to be Rams basketball, last touched by LaSalle. The referees needed to check with each other to see which direction that was going. But it is going to be Rams basketball after a lot of back and forth.
Tuck, you might need to take a sip of water after that play.
Kurt, this is a formula for players to just wind up really, really tired. We're not even halfway through this third quarter, and it's going pretty similarly to how that first quarter went in terms of the pace. Inbound to Ornella Niankin. She's fouled by Eris McToon under the basket, so Niankin going to go back to the free throw line. She's got a perfect mark there today, and we'll try to add and close the gap for the Rams a little bit here in this third quarter.
Ornella Niankin can stop the bleeding for this Fordham team so far that has been scoreless for the last almost 3 minutes in this quarter.
Yeah, one of their last 7 as well.
And another thing for Fordham is, another thing that we've been seeing is the referees aren't really calling this very consistently as Ornella Niankin misses her first free throw of the game. We saw Ugne at the other side of the floor. It was called a block instead of how much contact she was given. And then Ornella Niankin went up the same way as Ugne Sortoteta did and then got the foul call. So I'm not really sure what the referees are doing.
Niankin makes the second of 2, and after the inbound, it's a forced jump ball by the Fordham Rams. Big smile on the face of Mason Hill as she got in there to force the jump ball, and it'll be Fordham's possession again. 46-42, the lead for LaSalle.
It's a good energy booster for Fordham so far. They just need to inbound it cleanly and score the basketball.
Alexis Black underneath is going to fire it way up high for Niankin, who can't keep it together. Crosses the half-court line, and it's a backcourt violation by the Rams. So a nice job to force the jump ball, but then unfortunate on the miscue on the inbound, and LaSalle has the basketball either way. Fordham bench getting a little loud here, trying to get the crowd into it on this New Year's Eve. Ashley Connor just inside the three-point line from the left wing, misses the 2, fight for the rebound. Mason Hill comes down with it. Here come the Fordham Rams with Alexis Black. Black, top of the key, finds Wilson Saltos down low, but she is blocked by Patnode, which draws a jump ball. Possession towards the Explorers, but it'll be a media timeout on the floor. 46-42, the lead for LaSalle.
This might be the most amount of jump balls I've ever seen in a game, Tucker, so far. Fordham forcing a lot, but the referees also calling a lot because there's a lot of wrap-ups. These teams are both very physical so far in today's game. LaSalle up to 14 turnovers. Fordham down to still 12. Fordham keeping their number and their ratio down just a little bit more than LaSalle is. That's a good thing for Fordham, but they need to start scoring the basketball. 1 for 8 in their last field goal attempts. LaSalle has not shot much better. They've only shot 1 for 7. But LaSalle's also feels like, I don't know about you, Tucker, but it feels like right now LaSalle has just been a lot more energy off of the bench right now and off of that halftime break that they had. LaSalle has come out of the locker room with a lot more energy. They have not scored the ball, and that's because there's a lot of back and forth with what they've been going on, but it just feels like they've had a lot more pace a lot more pep in their step.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, especially considering Coach B's thought process for the starting lineup that she ran out today and for the way that she's using her lineup was to try and get some more of that energy off the bench. Fordham's bench is scoring at a rate among the best in the conference so far this season, but LaSalle is getting a lot of really good production out of their starters who they usually rely on. Connor with 9, McToon with 13, but then you also look to Miljanich, who has 6 off the bench, and Williams with 6, who is a starter. LaSalle is just really playing one of their better, if not their best games of the season against Fordham in this one, but I think it should still go to Fordham's credit that they're within 4 of this LaSalle team and always within striking distance. If Fordham can just manage to heat up, they should be able to overcome LaSalle, but still, Kurt, Fordham has not pulled in front since 2 minutes were gone in that first quarter. But now with 5 minutes to play in the third, it's 46-42, LaSalle leading the Fordham Rams. We're going to step aside, but we'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back to the Rose Hill Gym, the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel with you. 5 minutes left to play in this third quarter. 46-42 is the lead for LaSalle over the Fordham Rams. The Rams trying to improve to 7-1 on home court in the 25-26 season. Today, of course, is New Year's Eve. We are less than 10 hours from the turnover into 2026 as LaSalle inbounds the basketball with a 4-point lead. Joanne Quinn on it for the Explorers, guarded by Alexis Black. Quinn's got 5 today. A perfect shooting day so far, just 2 for 2 from the floor, 1 of 1 from 3. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. As now the ball gets to Kiara Williams. Back up top for Quinn. Top of the key 3, no good. Rebound Ornella Niankin. And the Rams will take it the other way. Fordham got to do a better job in the second half of limiting those 3-point opportunities that LaSalle was able to cash in on in the first half. Lucretia Edwards, top of the key 3. That's no good, off of the back of the rim and the backboard. Rebounded by Omashola underneath. She's whistled for a travel, though, in her first couple minutes of the game.
Kind of an odd mess up there for Precious Omashola. Looked like she didn't really know where to go with the ball under the basket. I mean, her first kind of check-in for the game today, so can chalk that up to that, but Fordham could not use the turnover.
Clock and a tick under 4 on this possession. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Pat Node to Williams underneath. And they're going to give the Fordham Rams they're going to give the Explorers the basketball underneath. Foul away from the basketball, a push against Omashola. LaSalle into the bonus with that foul.
I was about to say, LaSalle now going to get shots. That's something that you really don't need if you're the Fordham Rams, because giving up these simple fouls that should not be happening. Fordham only gave up 1 in the first half. Now up to 6 in this only third quarter. They've given up 5. It's not something that you want to see if you're Fordham. It's
still 4 minutes left to go in this quarter where
you can give up
so much. You can no longer foul LaSalle because they will go to the free throw line. And that's all LaSalle wants to do at this point, just give them opportunities for more free points. First free throw is missed by Williams, so one more miss could trigger free Chick-fil-A for the fans, but she hits the second. And so the fans will not be getting any free Chick-fil-A. 47-42 now, 5-point lead once again for LaSalle. Moving inside is Edwards, but she can't get it to go. It's rebounded by Patnode. So many missed opportunities on the offensive end for the Rams.
I was about to say, that was such a great shot by Lucretia Edwards, just to bounce off the rim, just not going for the Rams right now.
Fordham is 15 of 43, 34.9% shooting from the floor in this game against 44%, 19 of 43 by LaSalle. And underneath the basket, there's going to be an offensive foul called against Ashley Connor.
Great charge taken by Ornella Niankin just there. That gives Fordham the momentum. They got to score here, Tucker. This is probably the biggest opportunity that they have right now. 3:25 left to go. Fordham has the opportunity to just cut the lead just a little bit. Neither team has really scored very much at all. Both teams held scoreless for almost the last 2 minutes.
Fordham, 1 of their last 10 from the floor. Alexis Black finds Mason Hill, left wing 3, no good. It's long off the glass. Rebound, Omashola, and she puts it in and 1. Precious Omashola lays it off the glass with the right hand, and she's going to go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Precious Omashola, after that turnover that she had under the basket and then the foul, but then puts it in and 1, and now Fordham has the momentum at the line, can now cut the lead to just 2. Just 1. No, just 2, sorry.
The math is mathing today, Kurt.
Not a math major, Tucker.
Omashola hits the first of 1 to convert the 3-point play, the 6'2 sophomore out of London, England. with her first 3 points of the afternoon. Ashley Connor guarded by Mason Hill on the other end. 2-point game. 2:50 to play in the third quarter. Williams over to Miljanich now back in the game for the Explorers. Finds Connor on the right side. Connor drives into the paint. Finds Joanne Quinn left wing. That three, no good. Rebound Williams. Goes back up with the right hand, nice and strong. Working against Precious Omashola. She gets the 2 to go, 49-45. Alexis Black into the lane with the left hand. Alexis Black answers, and it's 49-47, 2:20 to go in the third.
Alexis Black high off the backboard with touch. With touch. That was a great shot by Alexis Black. Now up to 16 points on the day, and Fordham finally able to score the basketball just a little bit more.
High quality look from the leading scorer for the Rams, and that one is stolen away by Omashola. She picks up the dribble, and she'll set up the offense. Corner three, Lucretia Edwards, no good. Fight for the rebound, last touched by Ornella Niankin. It'll be Explorers ball, but Fordham certainly moving with a little bit more of urgency in the back end of this third quarter.
Fordham needs to move with that urgency. You can go into this fourth quarter with a lead or maybe even tie this game. That would be a very big benefit if you're the Fordham Rams.
Ashley Connor gives it off for Joanne Quinn. Quinn, the sophomore, an A10 all-rookie selection last season, a ball handler this year for LaSalle, as the pass down low for Kiara Williams gets away from the redshirt freshman. Sertau Teta in there on the defense. Fordham forces another turnover.
Getting her hand on the ball, and now Fordham has an extra possession to try and score the basketball and tie this game, put even more extra pressure on the LaSalle Explorers going into the fourth quarter.
Fordham has still not led since 4-3 in the first quarter. Black, the 2 from the right elbow is no good. Off the front, then the back rim, and rims out. Fight for the rebound, and there's going to be a foul here. Believe it's against Ugne Sertau Teta under the basket, and in the bonus, that's going to send LaSalle to the free throw line, although should mention both teams are in the bonus now, so any fouls for the rest of this quarter are going to result in free throws.
Yet again, not something that you can give up if you're Fordham. Ashley Connor is a very good free throw shooter, shooting 74% on the year so far in today's game. She's 1 for 2, now make that 2 for 3. And now LaSalle gets those free points. Now they're up 3 on Fordham with 1:26 to go. Has a chance to make it a double possession game, which they do.
50-47, now make it 51-47 as Ashley Connor makes both. The redshirt junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and transfer from within the conference. She was at St. Louis from 2022 to 2024 and redshirted her freshman year when St. Louis won both the A10 tournament and the Women's National Invitational Tournament. While she was sitting, she then played a handful of games the next year for SLU before transferring to LaSalle and playing her first season with them last year. Inbound for the Rams after a stoppage. London Lily's 3 is no good. Rebound, Sertau Teta. Now a fight for it underneath. Sertau Teta gives it to Lily. They're going to call it out of bounds off of LaSalle under the basket. Fordham going to retain possession here. 1:05 to go in the third quarter.
That was a great play by Ugne, getting it out to London Lily right under the basket, just not able to handle it.
Another long inbound from Alexis Black. Ornella Niankin brings it down. She's going to stop at the right elbow, and Ornella Niankin knocks down the short J. Excellent shot selection there by Niankin, her 10th and 11th points of the day, and it's a 2-point game once again. Connor has it, 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Guarded by Hill. Ashley Connor works to the right block. She's fouled on the shot. It's no good, but she's going to go to the free throw line again.
Tucker, I think now we're seeing kind of the regress to the mean for both of these teams, where they have not been shooting particularly well in this third quarter. They are both kind of regressing back, but now also playing a lot more deep. Their defense is tightening up a lot more as a result to not being able to get those shots up that they've been wanting. And this game, and now we've seen that with the third quarter being a lot more low scoring, 51-49. Not a lot of baskets had for both of these teams.
Yeah, Kurt, 4 of 14 are LaSalle from the floor as Connor makes the first to make it 52-49. The Rams are 3 of 16 from the floor in the third quarter. LaSalle is 0 of 3 from 3. Fordham is 0 of 6 from beyond the arc in this quarter, so certainly the shooting has gone out the window in this third quarter. Both free throws good by Connor, 53-49, and that one is good. A 2 in the interior by Alexis Black. A nifty little shot. I could barely see it around the referee right in front of us. Ball gets away from Quinn, and now she's going to draw a foul. Mason Hill may have caught Quinn up high near the face. And Quinn is going to go to the free throw line with 21.1 on the clock and a 2-point lead.
Alexis Black, she did the Michael Jordan stance right there, the jump man on her basket that she scored to put Fordham down by only 2 right then and there. Now LaSalle has a chance for another 2 free shots. Fordham has committed 9 fouls, and 8 of those are in this quarter. If I'm Coach B, that's what I'm talking to them about a lot in this coming up in this fourth quarter, is keep our hands to ourselves and try to just put your arms up and not foul, because now you're giving up these free shots to LaSalle, and they're taking advantage of it right now.
You get a free timeout at the end of the third quarter, so maybe a chance to talk things over then. Quinn hits both the free throws to make it 55-51. 16 seconds to go in the quarter. Shot clock is turned off. Alexis Black has it in her hands for the Rams. Black, right wing. She's going to pull that 3. It's no good. Fight for the rebound as the buzzer sounds. Miljanich came down with it. And at the end of 3 quarters of play, it is 55-51. LaSalle came out of the half in a tie game, retook the lead and did not give it back. Fordham still trying to gain their first lead in the game since just over 2 minutes played in the first quarter. On the other side of a short break, we'll be back with the start of the fourth. 10 minutes to go in regulation in this one on New Year's Eve. And we'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back inside the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel joining you on this New Year's Eve. Wish all our listeners a very happy New Year and a happy holidays.
The ball drops in 10 hours, like you said, Tucker.
It does.
Earlier.
It drops very, very soon, Kurt. Very soon indeed.
Going out to Times Square this morning? This afternoon? Might be in the back if you're getting there now.
I don't know. But we're just about ready to start the fourth quarter of action between the LaSalle Explorers and the Fordham Rams. The second game in conference play in the 25-26 season for both of these squads. Fordham fell to George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia back in early December, and for LaSalle it was a win over VCU, who they also defeated in the A-10 tournament last season in the first round on a buzzer beater.
By Ashley Connor.
Yeah, LaSalle, though, they're a really interesting squad because last year, there's no way to sugarcoat this. They were abysmal in A-10 play last year. 4-15 in the conference. Good for 14th overall. They went 10-23 on the whole season. That's including non-conference play, and lost both of their games to Fordham last year. But when you return 8 players from last year's team to play this year, that chemistry and that experience that the team builds with each other, it helps the whole team just get better together. And I think that's certainly what we're seeing today against a Fordham team that only returned a small handful of players and had to sort of put together this squad in a patchwork of transfers and talented freshmen.
We heard last week that Coach B talked about how well this Fordham team's chemistry has been building because they've been together for quite some time. The summer, early on as well in December, they got back on the 26th. So this Fordham team building the chemistry that LaSalle has had over a year and a half to build. But this Fordham team doing a good job at that.
Lucretia Edwards going to pull for a quick 2 at the free throw line, but it's no good. Rebound corralled by Ornella Niankin. Left wing 3, try by Alexis Black, and she gets it to go. It toilet bowls home, and it's a 1-point game, 55-54. Fordham still looking for that elusive first lead since the first quarter.
First shot hit from 3 for both of these teams since the second quarter, Tucker.
The shooting drought may be finally over. Miljanich, top of the key for LaSalle, looking for options, guarded by Alexis Black. Now she finds Ashley Connor. Connor tied for the lead in scoring on her team. Top of the key, it's McToon. Her 3, no good. Rebound underneath for Moses. Her layup is no good. Trying to get it out of the lane is Pashizlak, but she can't. Her right-handed layup is no good. Another offensive rebound by LaSalle. McToon goes up again. That's no good. Finally out of bounds off of McToon. Goodness gracious, but what a great defensive possession by the Rams to prevent any scoring there.
That is a great defensive possession for the Rams, but if you're Coach B, you do not like to see that. LaSalle just took down 3 in a row offensive rebounds. You would have liked to see Fordham get those offensive rebounds. People were getting set down the floor, so you might have gotten a fast break points and get some easy scoring that you could have taken the lead on.
Fordham trailing in the rebound category, 33-30 now, as Mason Hill's shot is blocked by Amaya Moses. Moses then fouled by Hill during the ensuing transition. That's a quick early foul on the floor by the Fordham Rams. 8:25 to go in this fourth, and they got to be careful not to push LaSalle into the bonus too early.
Don't want to push LaSalle into the bonus because that's all more free shots. And Tucker, going back to the cohesion thing, LaSalle just could have better communication because they've been together for so much longer. This Fordham team is very new and very fresh, so they don't have that cohesion and communication that we've heard Coach B talk about.
Amaya Moses on the right wing leads her team in blocks with 14 on the year. Right wing 3, try by Ivona Miljanich, is no good. Rebound by the Rams. Here comes Alexis Black on the left wing. Pulls up and then thinks better of the 3. She's got it again on that left wing with a dribble now. Puts it up with the right hand, no good. Attempted rebound by Omashola, but she can't bring it down. It's picked up by Ashley Connor.
Fordham having some very good looks in this fourth quarter, just unable to knock them down. A common theme during this entire game for both of these teams.
Connor in the left corner, guarded by Easley. She fires it up high for Eris McToon, and it's stolen by Lucretia Edwards. It's Edwards and Pashizlak racing down the floor. Edwards stops at the right block, puts it up with the right hand, and gets it to go. The Rams have the lead, 56-55, Fordham's first lead since the first quarter. And first lead since 4-3, as Ashley Connor has it on the left side, gets it to Moses. Moses looking for options. It's a wide open look on the right side for Miljanich, and she misses. Moses gets the rebound. Ashley Connor gets the basketball from Moses on the left wing, but she goes to the floor. And she seems to be a little bit shaken up, although she does get picked up by her teammates. It looked like a bit of an odd fall there.
Coach B is very unhappy with that call. The referee trying to calm her down, telling her that it was a trip. But I think
it's
Niankin
who's going to pick it up.
Right now, it's just been kind of all over the place with the foul calls that we've been seeing from the referees. I wouldn't call it a very consistently called game from either of these teams.
Yeah, and a second foul against the Rams, just 3:05 played in this fourth quarter. So foul trouble could come into play late in this one.
And again, Fordham, we saw again with LaSalle, they gave them a wide open three-point shot. Thankfully, LaSalle was unable to knock it down, but that's something that we've seen in the first quarter, that they will knock it down.
A quick 2 from the right, blocked by Eris McToon, is no good. McToon has really cooled off since a really solid start in that first half.
6 of 15 right now for McToon. Still no three-point shots hit. in this game for her, but only 13 points on the night.
LaSalle 0 for 7 to start this fourth quarter. Fordham is 2 of 5. And there's going to be a timeout called by Bridgette Mitchell. She wants to talk things over with her offense. 6:31 to go in this fourth quarter. Fordham savoring this lead as they have not led for very much game time in this game.
This is the timeout that you call because Coach B wants to draw up a play and make sure that they score on this possession, because then you're up by over 3 points right now. You could be up by a little bit more than that, but if you're Fordham, you need to do this, and you need to make sure that you're getting out to a little bit more of a lead, because neither of these teams can seem to shoot very well in this second half of play.
56-55, the Rams finally with the lead again. 6:31 rather to go in this fourth quarter. And we'll be right back after the short timeout with more Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
We welcome you back inside the Rose Hill Gym here in the Bronx, New York, on the campus of Fordham University. Tucker Austin and Kurt Sippel joining you for the final stretch here of the fourth quarter. 6:31 to go. Fordham finally has retaken the lead over LaSalle. Trying to win a third game against this program are the Rams within the calendar year of 2025.
LaSalle has given Fordham every single opportunity in this fourth quarter so far. They've yet to hit a shot. They've yet to hit they've yet to score any points so far. Even in the third quarter, LaSalle scored 16 to Fordham's 12, and that was on really poor shooting for LaSalle as well, only shooting 28%, but Fordham only shot 22% from the field. So Fordham right now getting every single opportunity for LaSalle, and Coach Mountain seems to know that as well, because this LaSalle team just cannot seem to get one through. A lid might be on the rim in this New Year's Eve game for LaSalle, but Fordham just has to apply the pressure, score the ball in this possession. I think I've said that for a lot of the possessions coming down in this fourth quarter, but this is probably the key, most important one. You don't want to allow LaSalle to get a lead back. You want them to be at an arm's distance where if they shoot a three, they might be able to tie it but not take a lead, because that's just a big momentum booster that you don't want.
The Explorers have been waiting patiently in this fourth quarter for the ball to drop, but it has not. Meanwhile, for the Rams, they've really ramped up that defense, but they're getting into foul trouble now. That one of their best, if not their best, perimeter defender, Karen Easley, the freshman, is up to 3 fouls rather. She is still in the game though. 3 personals for Mason Hill and 3 personals for Arnell and Niankin as well. And Niankin has played a very important role in this one. Alexis Black's try from 3 from the right wing is no good. Rebounded underneath by Kayla Berry. There's going to be a jump ball possession pointing towards LaSalle.
Also like what you did there, Tucker, with waiting for the ball to drop. I like that.
Snuck it in.
You did. New Year's Eve talk there, but also that play that Fordham drew up was a good one. Just Alexis Black unable to knock it down. That was 3 of 6 for her today from three-point land.
Yeah, 2 of those came in the first half. Kiara Williams gets all the way inside, knocks it down and one. That's the first points of the fourth quarter for LaSalle. It gives them the lead with a chance to make it a 2-point lead. Kiara Williams, a 3-point play opportunity.
Yet again, more fouls that Fordham is giving away. Ugne Surto Teta with that foul That is her first of the night for Ugne. But yet again, now LaSalle is up to a 2-point lead. You just gave them the lead back with that play.
Right corner 3, Alexis Black can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. Sertau Teita is going to pick up another foul. This time, McToon is the ball carrier who drew that foul. Fordham, 4th foul of the 4th quarter. LaSalle is yet to commit one.
I'm kind of, yet again, Tucker, I'm confused how that was on LaSalle when Ugne Sertau Teita was the one on the floor who got the elbow.
I think it was more of a reach around from Sertau Teita as Kiara Williams works inside, can't get the 2 to go, rebounded by McToon. She tips it over to Moses. And Amaya Moses hits her 2-pointer from the left side to make it a 4-point game. Fordham starting to fall into an unfavorable position here late. 5:25 to go in the 4th quarter. 4-point deficit, 60-56 the lead for LaSalle. Alexis Black with the basketball on the right side. Tries to get it to Sertau Teita, but the ball gets away from her. Joanne Quinn gets it forward for McToon. McToon calmly to the rim, but can't get it to go. It's last touched by McToon and bounces out of bounds, so a turnover for LaSalle. But the Rams still just 1 foul on the floor away from sending LaSalle to the free throw line for the rest of the game.
LaSalle on a 5-0 run, and Fordham has been scoreless in their last 2-10. Fordham needs to get a basket through and get a basket through pretty quickly.
Karen Easley on the left wing for the Rams, now into the corner. She's double-teamed. Alexis Black moves past the defender, now finds Edwards on the right corner. Her 3 is good! She gets it to spin around the rim and drop home, and it's a 1-point game again, 60-59. Fordham's been breathing down the neck of the Explorers for the entirety of this game.
That might have been the biggest shot of the day by Lucretia Edwards.
Big look in the right corner for Joanne Quinn, and of course she hits that one. She's not going to miss that much of an open look, and the answer for LaSalle, 63-59 Explorers.
Joanne Quinn with the call and response, but Fordham just leaving her wide open.
Left corner rather for Lucretia Edwards, stolen away by Joanne Quinn. Ball is still loose, and it's last touched by Quinn.
That's good extra effort right there from a lot of the Fordham defenders there for Kayla Berry, Karen Easley. Extra effort allowing them to get the extra possession there and keep it within the 4 points that LaSalle is leading.
Well, LaSalle started this 4th quarter ice cold, but have finally woken back up, and Fordham in the meantime did not take that cold stretch to their advantage. And as a result, they are down by 4 with 4:09 to go in the 4th quarter. LaSalle leading 63-59 over the Fordham Rams on the last day of 2025. We'll be right back with the end of the 4th quarter. After this short break, you're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
And we welcome you back inside the Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin, Kurt Sippel, wishing everyone a happy new year as we work our way through this New Year's Eve game. A women's basketball game at home for the Fordham Rams against LaSalle. Of course, the men's team also active at the moment, currently in a 28-24 contest, trailing the Dayton Flyers in Ohio. Our own sports manager, Joe Henry on the solo play-by-play in that game. They're live on 90.7 and YouTube Live at the moment. But Kurt, Fordham, as we've been saying in this fourth quarter, really had every opportunity to jump out in front by a large margin, but could only manage a 1-point lead before LaSalle's shooting finally woke up in the fourth.
LaSalle gave Fordham almost every opportunity. They've shot 3 of 12 in this fourth quarter so far, and that's only coming in the last about 2 minutes, I would say, Tucker, where they've hit those 3 shots. So Fordham had every opportunity where LaSalle was going scoreless to come up and take a lead just out from under them. And now LaSalle and Fordham matched on the points right now, 8 and 8. And LaSalle is up, but Fordham has that extra possession that they were able to give out. And we will see what happens. But if Fordham is able to just turn it up just a little bit, they might be able to ink out a win from here. This LaSalle team regressed to the mean like we were talking about before, only shooting around 25% or 28% in the third quarter and unable to get the points in the basket. But Fordham doing the exact same thing, only able to shoot 22%. And this is not something that you normally see from this Fordham Rams squad, who's shot much better in this game, much better in their games, and is only 8th team in offense in the A-10.
Alexis Black ready to inbound for the Rams. LaSalle is just 2 points short of their usual average this year of 65.5. Alexis Black now finds the ball once again in the right corner. She's going to fire it up top for Nelly Yankin, now to the free throw line for Sertau Teta. She loses the basketball trying to get it to the right side for Black, and it's picked up by Connor. Another turnover by the Rams. Ashley Connor with 13 points in the game, trying to add to her total and add to the LaSalle lead. Connor, left corner, working around a Williams screen, and that's going to be a moving screen against Kiara Williams. It's a 4th foul of the game for Williams, so she is in danger. One more foul, and she'll have to take a seat. Williams has 12 points, one of 3 Explorers in double digits in this game.
But yet again, Tucker, now you got the extra opportunity. Right now, you have the extra opportunity that LaSalle has just given you after that turnover. You have to do something with it. Fordham has been unable to.
And Karen Easley travels with the basketball. Doesn't quite stop her feet before she tries to get it to Alexis Black. And, as you were saying, Kurt, Fordham really needed to take advantage of that turnover from LaSalle and turn it into something. 3:30 to go in this fourth quarter. But yet another chance for the Fordham Rams completely squandered on the offensive end.
Fordham has been consistently squandering their chances in this game. It's just not been very consistent for them at all.
Williams still in the game for LaSalle despite being on her 4th foul. She gets it underneath, and Williams gets it to go. Kiara Williams with the right hand, moving strong underneath the basket, and she now leads her team with 14 points in the game. 65-59 is the lead for LaSalle. Niankin finds Karen Easley, right wing, her 3 is good. That's huge. Karen Easley, an important 3-pointer to bring Fordham within 3, 65-62, 2:48 to go in the fourth.
Karen Easley just put a Band-Aid on the large wound that was the Fordham offense there.
Williams to the left wing for Miljanich. Miljanich stops her dribble and now gives it to Connor. Connor back to Williams, right post. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Believe it's going to come against Connor. Although, no, it is against Williams. Kiara Williams picks up her 5th foul on the offensive end of the floor, a moving screen. Williams, the leading scorer for LaSalle, is going to have to take a seat for the remaining 2:34 of the fourth, and maybe for overtime if we get there.
That is such a big loss for LaSalle. She had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals.
Easley, right corner. Alexis Black, 2:20 to go in the fourth. Black works into the paint. Up with the right hand, it's short. Tipped towards Easley. She picks it up. Omashola, and 1 is good. Precious Omashola has a chance to tie this game if she can convert the 3-point play. 65-64.
Tucker, we've seen the LaSalle contingent in this gym very loud, but right behind the bench, we just saw the Fordham fans that are in this gym on New Year's Eve get really excited and really loud. So that was a big, needed play for Fordham, and Precious Omashola has a chance to tie it here with 2:17 left to go.
Precious Omashola, not a lot of points, not a lot of minutes, just 8 in this game, but all of her points have been incredibly important. She does miss the free throw, but it's a 1-point game once again. 65-64, just over 2 minutes to play. Karen Easley giving Joanne Quinn serious problems above the three-point line on the right side. Alexis Black guarding Ashley Connor. Connor moves to the left-handed dribble. Now Miljanich looks off a defender, fires a three. Too far to the left, it's no good. Picked up by Easley on the rebound. Easley, left wing, gonna slow things down. Trying to set up the offense. Alexis Black gonna move off the ball. Karen Easley still has it on the script. M at center court. Now finds Black. Black guarded by Quinn. Now it's Mason Hill on the left corner. Cross-court pass for Easley. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Easley has some room to drive. Her floater is blocked by Moses. And the rebound by Connor. 1:20 to go in the fourth. 1 point lead for LaSalle, 65-64. Fordham fans in attendance starting to get loud here. McToon inside for Moses. Reverse layup underneath is good. 3-point game, 67-64. Alexis Black, top of the key, 1:02 to go in the fourth. Coach Bridgette Mitchell not thinking about a timeout right now. Easley into Omashola. Omashola protects the basketball, guarded by Moses. She finds Black. Alexis Black guarded by Ashley Connor. Screen by Omashola. Black, a three is no good off the right iron. Rebound by Niankin, but the ball's still loose, and it's picked up by McToon, and she rips it away. LaSalle's basketball. Ornella Niankin is going to have to pick up a foul on the opposite end intentionally.
Wow, Tucker. Fordham just another great opportunity there, just unable to knock it down. A pretty clean look for Alexis Black at the three-point, at the basket. Now, LaSalle in the bonus.
I don't know. For me, it wasn't the cleanest look at the top of the key.
It was the cleanest.
It's a shot that Alexis Black can make for sure.
It was it was the best opportunity that she was probably going to be given with only 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
And Ashley Connor knocks down the first to make it a 4-point game, now a 2-possession ball game with 36.3 to go. Fordham is already 0-1 in conference. They're trying to avoid falling to 0-2, which could be a serious hamper on the rest of their season if they want to go where Coach B wants them to go. The second free throw is good. It's now a 5-point game. Fordham still nowhere near the bonus themselves. LaSalle into the bonus, so Fordham has no fouls to give. Fordham's going to have the basketball, but it's a timeout called by the Fordham Rams. Coach Bridgette Mitchell wants to try and figure out Fordham's game plan for the last 36 or so seconds. Really, the plan for me, at least, Kurt, it's got to be a three-pointer and then a quick foul. Then there's really no other way to slice it.
I was going to say a quick three-point shot for Fordham. You're going to inbound the ball and try to get the ball out to your best three-point shooter, who is Alexis Black, but don't get it twisted. This LaSalle team is going to be throwing everything at Alexis Black, so you might be looking at maybe Lucretia Edwards taking that three-point shot, maybe someone else, maybe Ornella Niankin taking that three-point shot. You need somebody else to get the distraction away, and Lucretia Edwards has already hit 2 of her last 5 three-point shots. So let's see what happens.
Among Fordham shooters, only Karen Easley, Lucretia Edwards, and Alexis Black have knocked one down from beyond the arc. Alexis Black, corner three from the left side is no good off the side of the backboard. Rebounded by Omashola, and she is fouled on the layup attempt after the offensive rebound. 27.7 to go in the fourth, and Omashola heading back to the free throw line. She missed one on her last trip, but she's 1 for 2 on the afternoon and is usually
38% free throw shooter as
not
of this
the best
year.
shooter, but a small sample size, 5 of 13,
Yes.
and now she's 2 of 3 on the afternoon.
This is a very, very vital free throw shots for this Fordham team.
To make it a 1-possession game, and she does. Omashola hits both at the free throw line. Coach McGilvray is going to call timeout here. 69-66 is the score, 27.7 to go. Kurt, that's exactly what Fordham needed to give them at least a chance, a breath at life left in this game.
They got a bailout. I'll say that. Under the basket, they were able to get a bailout, and also not a lot of time ticked off the clock under the basket when Precious Omoshola is able to get those shots onto the basket. I have a question for you, Tucker. If you're Coach B right now, are you telling your team to foul quick, or are you going to try to get some defense and steal the ball? Because right now in today's game, 13 steals for this Fordham team, outdoing LaSalle, who has the most amount of steals in all of the A-10. Do you try to steal the ball away from them?
I mean, Fordham's been doing a good job of getting in passing lanes, stealing the basketball. They've certainly flipped that part of the game on LaSalle's head. But when I look at the rebounding, Fordham usually prides themselves on being an excellent nationally ranked rebounding team. But LaSalle has been effectively showing the Rams how to rebound in this game. After the inbound, Fordham commits the personal on the floor, the intentional rather.
Well, Tucker, even against St. Francis, who is 0-11 this season in the NEC, they out-rebounded Fordham as well, 50-44. Not a lot of rebounds, don't get me wrong, out-rebounded, but it still shows something, as now it is a two-possession game.
Yeah, Connor
for
hits
LaSalle.
the first of two. She's now 8 of 9 from the line tonight. Fordham has not been able to keep Connor away from the charity stripe. She hasn't had a great game shooting from the floor, but has now racked up 9 of her 17 points from the free throw line, and it's now a 71-66 game. Another 5-point lead with just 20.1 on the clock here in the fourth.
Yet again, Tucker, the other thing about this Fordham team is the fouls that they've committed in this second half. They only committed 1 foul. This is something I'm going to harp on because it's so important. 1 foul in the first 2 quarters of today, and now they've committed 14 in these next 2 quarters in the second half. This is not something that Fordham realistically could give up. This is a lot of trouble, and it shows because Fordham has now given so many more points. They've given 14 points, 3 points to LaSalle off of those free throws.
Yeah, with a tie game at half and spending most of the second half at a deficit, enough fouls to put the opposing team in the bonus in both the third and the fourth quarter are not a good situation. But Lucretia Edwards drills a 3 from the left corner, makes it a 2-point game with 13.8 remaining, and forces another timeout from Coach McGilvray. And these Fordham Rams will not go away on New Year's Eve.
The play that I said they should draw up, they did, Tucker, distracting with Alexis Black, who got the ball in the beginning, and then Lucretia Edwards went to the corner for the 3-point shot that she drilled. Now her third 3-pointer hit tonight for the Rams. Fordham will not go away. Fordham will not quit. We've watched this Fordham team, Tucker, all year. We talk about how they come from behind and win in games because they just don't want to give up. And that's not something that you want to do a lot of the time because you don't want to play from behind. But if you're going to play from behind, at least show that you're able to win. And Fordham has been doing that in this game against LaSalle, because LaSalle has not let up almost at all. Now, do you foul or do you play defense with 13 seconds? I think you foul.
100% you foul. You have to, because there's no shot clock left. 13.8, the shot clock will not turn on. So without a foul, LaSalle can
hold the ball.
Just dribble this ball out. So Fordham's going to have to foul almost immediately. However, that 3 ball, and great job on the foul there. 1/10 of a second came off the clock before the foul was called. 13.2 to go in the game now. So ideal situation there for the Rams. It's a 2-point game, and I believe if Nian can pick that foul up, she's done for the day, as Niankin's 5th personal.
That is her 5th, yes.
Sends Eris McToon to the line. McToon has
today
not gone to the free throw line a lot today. If it was Connor at the line, I would have been a little more skeptical, but McToon is just 1 for 1 today, so Fordham is going to have to hold their breath on at least 1 miss in this trip. And she makes the first to make it a 3-point game. She will have a chance to put a dagger in this one with a made free throw here. She misses the second. Offensive rebound, though, and a fight for it. Alexis Black has the basketball. 9 seconds to go. She's got to push the pace. 3-point game, 72-69. Black with it, guarded by McToon. She's going to pull a wild 3-pointer with no contact. That's the horn. And just a really rough shot selection there on the final shot of the game as the Fordham Rams fall to the LaSalle Explorers, 72-69. A wildly anticlimactic end to that one, Kurt, as Black looked for contact and looked to draw a foul.
Alexis Black was less interested in the three-point shot to tie the game there and more interested in trying to get the foul shots, which yet again, she is one of the top foul shooters in the entire country. I understand that, but there was definitely a better play that could have been made at the end of that game for Fordham.
The last play kind of makes you think about a lot of the plays in this game, Kurt. A lot of the opportunities that Fordham had to maybe make a slightly better decision, one more pass, or just one different shot selection. And in this case, at the end of the game, a decision like that does come back to burn them. And just when you hang around like that at the end of the game so much, Fordham never saying die in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, for that to be the last shot attempt. I mean, we're talking 4 feet at least short of the rim. Alexis Black tried to draw contact by Eris McToon. It almost looked like a Trae Young foul attempt where Alexis Black sort of pump faked and got Eris McToon to jump, tried to jump into McToon for the shot, but the referee was having absolutely none of the contact. Either way, you look at the rest of this game, Fordham wound up with 3 players in double digits to match the 3 in double digits for LaSalle. But LaSalle with a 72-point performance. Kurt, I got to say, this is a wildly different Explorers team and honestly a different-looking program than the team that lost to Fordham twice last year.
This LaSalle team just hyped up on defense. They were able to play their type of game the entire game. Listen, and this is the issue that happened was Fordham just unable to score the basketball when LaSalle giving you the opportunities to do it. LaSalle in the third quarter gave you every chance, but you were only able to shoot. Fordham was only able to shoot 22%. And then in the fourth quarter, shooting, going absolutely cold up until about the 6-minute mark, I might say, Tucker. And Fordham just unable to score the basketball. And yet again, another thing that's a bigger issue is you can't play from behind against these teams that are so good and then also expect to try to win in 8-10 play. You got a lot of big competition. St. Louis is big competition. Richmond is big competition. St. Joe's is big competition. And all of these squads aren't going to have it when you think that you can probably play from behind and still never say die and win, because they might get out to quite a large lead. But now, Tucker, to do something more positive, the ball drops at midnight today. To New Year, it will be 2026. Fordham will have the same record. It will still be 0-2, but you can think about it like this. It is a fresh slate of games. It is a new year, and that's how Fordham has to play. Goldfish memory. Got to forget what just happened and now move on to something better. And what happens now? This Fordham Rams team has shown resilience, and now they're going to have to be resilient yet again coming into 8-10 play against their next game at Richmond.
A wildly evenly matched game for LaSalle not having played in 11 days. Fordham hadn't played in 10 days. And so the clashing of 8 and 4 teams results in a win for the LaSalle Explorers out of Philadelphia. They improved to 9-4 and 2-0 in conference play to start the season. LaSalle's next game is going to be on January 3rd at 1 p.m. at home against George Washington. Meanwhile, for the Rams, it's going to be a tough slate of games coming up after this one, starting with this Saturday, January 3rd, 2 p.m., right here at the Rose Hill Gym against the St. Joe's Hawks. But that just about does it for us today on New Year's Eve and for the year 2025. 72-69 is the final. LaSalle getting the win over the Fordham Rams. For Kurt Sippel, I have been Tucker Austin. Have a happy and healthy 2026 as we say goodbye to 2025. Fordham women's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports. We will catch you guys next time.